Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Amy Errett, founder and CEO of Madison Read, to discuss how stay-at-home brands can seize the momentum they saw from the pandemic and maintain their influx of customers. Amy, it's great to meet with you. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you for having me, Jill. I'm excited to be here.
All right, and Amy, I know Madison Read. I've heard your commercials on Sirius XM for a number of years. Tell our audience about Madison Read and what sets you apart in the category.
Yeah, so simply put, we are a hair color company. We have innovated on the ingredients of what's in our hair color. We have an age-free formula. We use technology to color match versus the box on the shelf with very sophisticated componentry that goes into that. And so we can get your shade through an algorithm of you answering 18 questions. In addition, we have hair color bars. So that's disrupting the traditional salon where we apply the same color that we make, and it's all transparent to the customer. You can either do it at home or come into our hair color bars. And so we're giving our clients convenience.
That's really interesting that you're in hair color bars as well.
Yes.
And what is also interesting, Pinterest reported a 417% spike in searches about hair care in 2020. And at the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, customers were purchasing Madison Read hair color every 5 seconds. Is that type of momentum sustainable? How have consumer behaviors changed that much?
Yeah, it's a great question. So yes, every 5 seconds we were selling a box of hair color. We're not selling a box of hair color every 5 seconds, nor is anybody that had a COVID-based, sort of essential product bump. But our business has fundamentally changed, and so we are keeping a vast majority of those customers. We are still growing like crazy because I think that what has happened is the behaviors in COVID really changed how people feel about doing things they may have never done before. So for instance, the number of clients that tell us that they used to go to a salon, they had to do it because they were looking at Zoom and looking on their hair and their roots. And now all of a sudden tried Madison Read. They're like, why would I go back? This is, $22 delivered to my door, love the ingredients. I have confidence I can do it. So I think there are many things, that category, food delivery, lots of categories that I think DIY behaviors have shifted. I also think that what has shifted is this notion of confidence and convenience to customers.
I also think people just have fun doing makeup and hair, and it's something to do at home. And I just think it's a lot of fun. You have flexibility. You could try different things without having to be reliant on having to go to a salon and scheduling everything around other people booking. And I just think people have more fun and flexibility with it. And to that point, you just announced a $52 million Series F funding round. What's next for Madison Read?
Yeah, so we just closed the round, so that's been exciting. There's sort of three things that are next for us. One is what has been a major breakthrough in our business, and it's funny because it's analogous with Zoom calls, is that we were getting such an enormous number of people asking for our call center, which is all certified licensed colorists, to actually do a Zoom with them. So what they wanted was this notion of, can someone look at me to help me color match? I believe in your technology and your algorithm, but I'd really just like the confidence of that. And so we went to work last summer about creating our own video consultation, and it's just through the roof. And so we are building that out, scaling it, hiring more colorists, but we're doing a lot of consultations a day. So that is a platform that we're going to expand because we believe in this notion of video has changed everything in people's lives, even a consultation with a colorist. So that's one. Number two, our hair color bars were expanding. We closed to COVID last year in mid-March with 12. We now have 32 open. So believe it or not, we've opened in new hubs, and we're opening about another 15 or 18 this year. And that has gone really well because we only kept 2 chairs open during COVID. We're now releasing some more chairs, but our demand has been through the roof. And I think there's this other emerging trend that I want to note is that women sometimes will want someone to do it for them and sometimes wanting to do it at home. And I think that will be a trend that people see about a lot of things. Sometimes women are going to go into a supermarket to shop, and sometimes they want their groceries delivered.
Mhm.
I think there's this duality, which is what our hair color bars are about. And then the third thing, just honestly, is like when you go through 5 seconds of selling hair color, you have to build infrastructure. And so the company is building massive amounts of global supply chain infrastructure, risk mitigation, all that stuff that goes into the great fortune that we have had during this. I mean, we were growing very quickly prior to COVID, but then it was just like being shot out of a cannon accelerator. And as I say all the time, on March 12th, we went to bed as a 5-year-old. And sometime in August, we woke up and we were 13, but we didn't maturate for all of those 8 years. Like we didn't have all the steps along the way. We're learning that now. And I think we're doing quite a good job, but there's still challenges that we have to get ahead of.
All right, Amy, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you.